I regret to share the news that Dianne Feinstein, a prominent figure in American politics, has recently passed away. Her decades-long career in the United States Senate, marked by dedication and service, has left a significant impact on the nation's political landscape. In this video, we pay tribute to her life, legacy, and contributions to American politics. Dianne Feinstein's journey in American politics is marked by a remarkable life story. Born on June 22, 1933, in San Francisco, California, she grew up in a family of modest means. Feinstein's early life was influenced by the values of hard work and public service, instilled in her by her parents, Betty and Leon Goldman. Feinstein attended convent of the Sacred Heart High School, where she excelled academically. After completing high school, she pursued higher education at Stanford University, one of the most prestigious universities in the United States. At Stanford, she majored in history and developed a keen interest in public affairs. Her introduction to politics came during her college years when she served as a campus activist and engaged in student government. This early involvement in student politics foreshadowed her future career in public service. After graduating from Stanford, Feinstein continued her education at the University of California, where she earned a master's degree in public policy. Her educational background laid a strong foundation for her understanding of government and policy, which would prove invaluable in her political career. Dianne Feinstein's entry into formal politics occurred in the 1960s when she served on the California Women's Parole Board. Her commitment to criminal justice reform and her passion for public service quickly became evident. This initial experience in government administration marked the beginning of her long and impactful political career. In subsequent years, she held various positions in local government, including serving as a member of the San Francisco Board of Supervisors. It was during this time that she made history by becoming the first woman to serve as the board's president. This achievement was a significant milestone not only in her career but also for women in politics. Dianne Feinstein's extensive tenure in the United States Senate has been marked by her tireless dedication to serving the people of California and her significant influence on national policies. Here, we'll delve into her key legislative achievements, committee roles, and overall impact on American politics. One of Feinstein's most notable contributions is her work on gun control. She authored the 1994 assault weapons ban, which was a landmark piece of legislation aimed at curbing the availability of semi-automatic firearms. Although the ban expired in 2004, Feinstein continued her efforts to reintroduce similar legislation and has remained a staunch advocate for gun control measures. Feinstein has been a champion for environmental conservation. She played a pivotal role in the creation of California's Desert Protection Act, which designated millions of acres of California desert as protected wilderness areas. Her work also extends to issues like water conservation and renewable energy. Feinstein's committee roles have been crucial in shaping national policies. She served as the chair of the Senate Intelligence Committee and played a vital role in overseeing intelligence agencies, especially during the post-9/11 era. Additionally, her tenure on the Senate Judiciary Committee allowed her to contribute to important discussions on legal matters, including Supreme Court nominations. Feinstein has been a strong advocate for healthcare reform and women's rights. She supported the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, and has consistently fought for women's access to reproductive health care services, including contraception and abortion rights. As a senator from California, Feinstein has been deeply involved in immigration reform discussions. She has worked on various bills aimed at providing a path to citizenship for undocumented immigrants and has advocated for comprehensive immigration reform. Feinstein's role on the Senate Intelligence Committee has made her a key figure in matters of national security. She has been involved in critical discussions on counterterrorism, surveillance, and cybersecurity, advocating for a balance between national security and civil liberties. Feinstein has been a proponent of infrastructure development and transportation projects in California. She has secured federal funding for critical projects in the state, including improvements to highways, bridges, and public transportation. Feinstein's seniority and leadership positions in the Senate have given her a unique ability to influence policy and build relationships across the aisle. Her ability to work with colleagues from both parties has been instrumental in advancing important legislation. Dianne Feinstein's advocacy for gun control measures is one of her most prominent and enduring policy priorities. Her involvement in the passage of the 1994 assault weapons ban and her ongoing efforts to address gun violence have made her a leading figure in the fight for stricter gun regulations in the United States. 1994, Senator Feinstein played a pivotal role in crafting and passing the assault weapons ban as part of the Violent Crime Control and Law Enforcement Act. The ban prohibited the manufacture, sale, and possession of certain semi-automatic firearms and large-capacity magazines. It was enacted in response to a series of high-profile mass shootings in the late 1980s and early 1990s, including the 101 California Street shooting in San Francisco. Feinstein's personal experience as the mayor of San Francisco during the 1978 Jonestown Massacre, where she discovered the bodies of the victims, deeply influenced her commitment to gun control. She introduced the assault weapons ban as an amendment to the larger crime bill, and it was eventually signed into law by President Bill Clinton in September 1994. The ban included a provision for a 10-year period and sought to reduce the availability of military-style assault weapons on the civilian market. Despite the expiration of the assault weapons ban in 2004, Feinstein has remained a steadfast advocate for stricter gun control measures. She has consistently introduced legislation to reinstate and strengthen the ban, especially in the wake of tragic mass shootings. Feinstein has pushed for universal background checks, closing the gun show loophole, and banning the sale of firearms to individuals on the no-fly list. She has also been a vocal proponent of red flag laws that allow the temporary removal of firearms from individuals deemed a danger to themselves or others. One of her most recent legislative efforts was the introduction of the assault weapons ban of 2021, which aimed to ban the sale, manufacture, transfer, and possession of military-style assault weapons, as well as high-capacity magazines. While this legislation faced significant political challenges, Feinstein's commitment to gun control measures remained resolute. Feinstein's advocacy for gun control has consistently placed her in the center of a highly polarized debate in American politics. She has faced opposition from pro-gun groups and lawmakers who argue for Second Amendment rights. Nevertheless, she has persisted in her efforts to reduce gun violence and enhance firearms safety through legislative means. Dianne Feinstein has a long and impactful history of working on environmental issues, particularly in California, where she has championed conservation efforts and played a significant role in addressing climate change on the national stage. Feinstein has been a staunch advocate for the restoration of Lake Tahoe, a pristine alpine lake located in the Sierra Nevada mountains. She secured federal funding for initiatives aimed at improving water quality, preventing wildfires, and enhancing the overall environmental health of the Lake Tahoe Basin. Feinstein has been a leading figure in efforts to protect California's deserts. She played a key role in the passage of the California Desert Protection Act of 1994, which designated millions of acres of California desert as national parks, monuments, and wilderness areas. This legislation aimed to preserve the unique and fragile ecosystems of the desert region. Feinstein was instrumental in the establishment of the San Gabriel Mountains National Monument in 2014. This designation aimed to protect the scenic beauty, recreational opportunities, and biodiversity of the San Gabriel Mountains, which are located near Los Angeles and provide critical open space for millions of residents. Feinstein has consistently supported policies aimed at promoting renewable energy sources and reducing greenhouse gas emissions. She has backed federal initiatives to expand solar and wind energy production, which aligns with California's aggressive goals for transitioning to clean energy. Feinstein has advocated for carbon pricing mechanisms, such as cap-and-trade programs, to incentivize businesses to reduce their carbon emissions. She recognizes the economic and environmental benefits of curbing climate change through market-based approaches. Throughout her Senate career, Feinstein has co-sponsored and supported various climate-related bills, including those aimed at increasing energy efficiency, reducing emissions from the transportation sector, and rejoining international climate agreements like the Paris Agreement. In light of California's increasing wildfire risks exacerbated by climate change, Feinstein has worked on legislation to improve wildfire management, prevention, and response. She has sought federal funding for firefighting efforts and forest management programs. Feinstein has also been a vocal advocate for environmental justice, emphasizing the need to address environmental disparities and protect vulnerable communities from the impacts of pollution and climate change. Dianne Feinstein's dedication to environmental conservation and her proactive stance on climate change have solidified her reputation as an environmental leader in the Senate. Her work in California and on the national stage reflects a commitment to preserving the state's natural beauty and addressing the urgent global challenge of climate change. Dianne Feinstein has had a significant role in national security and intelligence matters during her tenure in the United States Senate, most notably through her involvement in the Senate Intelligence Committee. Here's an overview of her contributions in this domain. Feinstein served as the chair of the Senate Intelligence Committee from 2009 to 2015, and during her time as chair, she played a pivotal role in overseeing and shaping U.S. intelligence policies and activities. Her leadership in this position was marked by several key initiatives. Feinstein was responsible for leading the committee's oversight of 17 U.S. intelligence agencies, including the CIA, FBI, NSA, and others. This oversight involved monitoring their operations, budgetary considerations, and ensuring compliance with legal and ethical standards. Feinstein and the Senate Intelligence Committee conducted a landmark investigation into the CIA's use of enhanced interrogation techniques, often referred to as torture, in the aftermath of the 9/11 attacks. The committee's 2014 report, released during her tenure as chair, exposed controversial and widely criticized practices used by the agency. Feinstein's leadership in this investigation led to increased transparency and accountability. During her tenure as chair, Feinstein addressed the growing threat of cyber attacks and espionage. The committee examined issues related to cybersecurity, including state-sponsored hacking, and worked to enhance U.S. capabilities to defend against cyber threats. Feinstein was a central figure in overseeing government surveillance programs, particularly in response to the revelations by Edward Snowden regarding mass data collection by the NSA. She was both an advocate for national security measures and a proponent of protecting civil liberties. Her leadership contributed to debates about the balance between security and privacy. Feinstein was involved in discussions and legislation related to counterterrorism efforts, including the authorization of the use of military force against terrorist groups and the oversight of targeted drone strikes. Dianne Feinstein has been a long-standing advocate for comprehensive immigration reform during her time in the United States Senate. Here's a look at her stance and actions in this important policy area. Feinstein has consistently supported the idea of comprehensive immigration reform, which involves addressing various aspects of the immigration system, including border security, pathways to citizenship for undocumented immigrants, and improvements to the legal immigration process. She has often emphasized that a comprehensive approach is necessary to address the complex challenges of the U.S. immigration system. One of Feinstein's significant contributions to immigration reform was her involvement in the Gang of Eight, a bipartisan group of senators who crafted a comprehensive immigration reform bill in 2013. The bill, officially known as the Border Security, Economic Opportunity, and Immigration Modernization Act of 2013, aimed to provide a pathway to citizenship for undocumented immigrants, enhance border security, and reform the legal immigration system. Feinstein played a crucial role in shaping the bill and worked to garner bipartisan support. Feinstein has consistently advocated for a pathway to citizenship for undocumented immigrants who meet certain criteria, such as paying taxes and passing background checks. She believes that offering a path to legal status and citizenship is not only fair but also beneficial for the country, as it allows undocumented individuals to fully integrate into American society. Feinstein has been a vocal supporter of the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals (DACA) program, which provides temporary relief from deportation to undocumented individuals who were brought to the U.S. as children. She has worked to protect DACA recipients and has pushed for legislative solutions to provide them with a more permanent legal status. While advocating for comprehensive reform, Feinstein has also recognized the importance of effective border security and enforcement measures. She has supported efforts to enhance border security technologies and infrastructure to ensure the integrity of the U.S. border. Dianne Feinstein's long political career has not been without its controversies and challenges. Here are some notable instances. One of the most significant controversies surrounding Feinstein emerged in 2018 when it was revealed that her former driver, who had worked for her for over 2 decades, was suspected of spying for the Chinese government. While it was not proven that classified information had been compromised, this raised concerns about security protocols and whether any sensitive information had been accessed. Feinstein responded by stating that the individual did not have access to sensitive committee materials and had retired years earlier. Nevertheless, this incident sparked discussions about the need for stringent security measures in Congress. Being a prominent Democratic senator from California, Feinstein has faced criticism and opposition from political opponents, particularly on issues where she holds progressive positions. Her support for gun control measures, comprehensive immigration reform, and environmental regulations has drawn strong opposition from conservative lawmakers and interest groups. Feinstein's more centrist approach has occasionally put her at odds with progressive members of her own party. For example, during the confirmation hearings for Justice Brett Kavanaugh in 2018, Feinstein's decision to withhold a letter from Dr. Christine Blasey Ford, who had accused Kavanaugh of sexual misconduct, until late in the process drew criticism from some progressive Democrats who believed it was mishandled. This incident highlighted divisions within the Democratic Party over strategies for opposing Kavanaugh's nomination. Throughout her career, Feinstein has faced election challenges from both Republican and Democratic opponents. Some progressives have criticized her for not aligning with the more left-leaning policies of the party. Despite these challenges, Feinstein has consistently won re-election and maintained her position in the Senate. It's important to note that Feinstein's career, spanning several decades, involved navigating a complex political landscape, and controversies and criticisms are not uncommon for politicians in such prominent roles. Throughout her career, she has maintained her commitment to issues she believes in, even in the face of opposition and challenges. As we remember the life and contributions of Dianne Feinstein, let's continue to engage in the political discourse that she held dear. If you find this video informative and respectful, please consider giving it a like and subscribing to our channel for more updates on important political figures and events. Thank you for joining us in honoring the memory of Senator Dianne Feinstein.